Yo, what's going on, guys? I haven't done one of these videos in so long. No footage, no reaction, just pure talking. I already know what everyone's gonna say. You are the biggest bandwagon in the NBA. But let me remind you, this right here is still and will always be my favorite team, regardless on if my favorite player still plays on it. Now, I'll tell you guys this right now. Carmelo Anthony's going to have the best season of his career, but I made that video earlier on today. What we're going to be focusing on today is Paul George. Do I still hate him? No. How could I hate him? First of all, I never hated Paul George. It wasn't, Paul George, it wasn't that. Okay, you want to know what it was? I got sick and tired of people overrating Paul George. I got sick and tired of it. There were people saying that Paul George was up there with LeBron and KD and Steph. And remember what I said last year, 2016, I said Paul George and Kawhi. That was before the 16-17 season. I said those two players, they're all-star caliber players, but they're not that good. But then Kawhi stepped up his game, and this dude is an absolute monster now. And what did I say? I was wrong. I'm not wrong about Paul George. He's an all-star player. He ain't no damn LeBron. He ain't in that category. He's not. He's not in the category with Russ, Steph, KD, LeBron, Kawhi. He's not in that category. Excuse me, I'm forgetting someone, ain't I? James Harden and another person. Should I? Let's just say there's another person. But I'm not going to say his name because it'll be the biggest controversy in the world. Oh my gosh, you're going to say this overrated bum. You know, these hypocrites, they really, show their true colors. Because think about it. Before Carmelo Anthony got traded to the Thunder, this is what everyone was saying. Oh, Melo sucks now. He's a has-been. He can't even make the playoffs. Remember that, right? And then what did they say after he got traded? Oh my gosh, Melo ruined the, Melo ruined the NBA. How? How did Carmelo Anthony ruin the NBA? Well, he got traded to the Thunder. Now they're championship contenders. But just a minute ago, you were saying he was a bum. So how can a bum change this team to a championship team? That don't make sense. Hypocrisy always prevails. Truth doesn't always prevail. Truth always prevails. And the hypocrites always expose themselves in the end. And what did they do? They exposed themselves. Now, I didn't expose myself. Paul George is still a beast. He's an all-star player. He ain't no damn superstar, though. But you add him with Russ and Melo, and what do you have? You have one of the best teams in the league. The best big three in the league. I know you're going to say, oh, no, there's a better big three in Cleveland. That's not a big three. That's like a big five. They got D. Rose, D. Wade, LeBron, Kevin Love, and Isaiah Thomas. That's a big five. Okay? And then people are going to say, oh, well, what about Golden State? That ain't no damn big three. That's a big four. You got Steph, KD, Clay, and Dre. When was the last time there was a big three? Ain't no damn big three. OKC has the best big three in the league without question. So the answer to the question, do I hate Paul George? I never hated him. You know, I'm tired of people saying, oh, you hated Paul. I never hated Paul George. It was not a knock on him. I'm just saying, look, he wasn't as good as people were saying he was. And it's not his fault. Because he had a really good, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Paul George, in the playoffs, is an absolute monster. He elevates himself to superstar status. But it's the inconsistency, the blaming of others, and then the lackluster regular seasons that I've seen for the past several years that just make me come to the conclusion that he's not up there with them. He's not. I don't even think he's a top 10 player in the league. Let me see. He might be, actually. Let me see. LeBron, KD, Steph, Kawhi, Russ, James, CP3, Anthony, John Wall, Melo. That's 10. He's not even in the top 10. But he's still a beast. Just because you're not in the top 10, I don't mean you suck. Does Jimmy Butler suck? Does DeMarcus Cousins suck? Does Isaiah Thomas suck? Does Dwayne Wade suck? Does Derrick Rose suck now? Does Kyrie suck? No, they're all beasts. They're beasts. But in terms of, let's exclude Dwayne Wade from this category out of respect because he's one of the top 15 player of all time. Those players aren't on the level as LeBron, KD, Kawhi, Steph. Especially those four. Those four, no one's on their level. Not even Carmelo. And y'all know how I feel about Melo. So if I sit there and I say, Melo ain't even on that level, how am I being biased? It's the absolute truth. Now I'll sit there and tell you guys this. This season will make people think that Melo's on that level. Because historically he is. But he's at the point in his career where he's slowing down and he isn't. That's the God's honest truth. Paul George is an absolute monster, but the 0 for 16 in the clutch. Y'all want to know why? I know people are going to say, Steve, how can you sit here and say Melo's this, but Paul George isn't? Look, Carmelo Anthony, statistically, is the clutchest player in the NBA. Since 2003. Almost 2 decades. Paul George is 0 for 16 for the final go-ahead bucket. Melo is statistically the clutchest. More clutch than Kobe, than T-Mac, than Dwayne Wade, than Timmy D, than Paul Pierce, Allen Iverson. And those are some of the clutchest players in NBA history. Excuse me. More clutch than LeBron as well. So I don't want to sit here, and act like Paul George is terrible, because he's not. Dude is an absolute monster. You don't get called, you're not part of a big three for nothing. And this season, he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. But the reason why this team matches up so perfectly is because you have Paul George, who offensively, yeah, whatever, he's good. But defensively is where he's going to come in because he's going to guard KD. That means Melo doesn't have to do that, which means Melo can focus on being Melo. In crunch time, in the playoffs. Who's going to outperform Melo in crunch time? Even Russ knows that. He said it himself. He said, we need to know our roles, and when the time comes and it's crunch time, I already know who the ball's going to. We're giving it to Melo. He said that. So you don't take my word, take Russ's word. I don't want to hear this nonsense that I hate Paul George. I don't. The dude is an absolute monster. I just didn't think last year that he was as good ever. I just didn't think he was as good as people thought he was. It's not his fault. It's people. Overrate him. Same way when Jeremy Lin was doing good. Oh my goodness, Linsanity. Dude left for an extra couple billion, and guess what? He's a role player. Nothing wrong with that. The dude's still making millions, but, who's he in comparison to a Melo or to a LeBron or to a Steph or to a KD or Kawhi? He's, come on, man. So I don't hate Paul George. He's an absolute monster. And he's a perfect fit for Melo and Russ. Perfect fit. And I heard people criticizing Paul George. Oh, he's leaving because he didn't look motivated when he was playing with Melo. He was playing. Look, it's the preseason. Do you want him to go hard like he did in USA basketball training and break his leg again? Do you want that to happen? Melo wasn't even going hard. He was just catching and shooting. But he's so damn good at it that he scored 19 points in 19 minutes. So I don't want to hear that nonsense about people criticizing. Stop criticizing. He wasn't going hard because it's the preseason. The only reason why he's even playing in the preseason is because they need to get used to playing with each other again. If it weren't for that, you really think Melo and Paul George, players of that caliber, will be playing against these bums? It's just like the summer league. It's for the people that want to learn how to play NBA basketball, that are good enough, that have the skill level and the talent level, but don't quite have the experience. So they gain the experience by doing that, or they want them to improve. Prime example, Aaron Gordon's a solid player, but he can be better, which is why Orlando sends him to Summer League. When was the last time you saw Melo or LeBron in Summer League? Oh, right. They're rookie years. Come on, man. Paul George, he wasn't even trying. And did you see him pulling up from 40? What? He was killing it. So I'll say here, I'll tell you guys this right now. Paul George, I don't hate him. I just speak the truth. You know, people get upset. Oh, that's not true. Whatever. I speak the truth. That's the way it's always going to be, and that's the way it's always been. He's a beast. He's a perfect fit for Melo and Russ. And, oh, my goodness. I can't. Oh, I can't wait for the season to start. It's going to be ridiculous. It starts in literally 2 weeks, not even 13 days. Be man, Steve. I'm out of here. Peace.